Hey guys, welcome back. This is the second week of June tour, June 15th, and we are fixing to start our garden tour. Just want to say welcome back. My name is Casey. This is Boots and Bounty Homestead, and around here we just like to grow stuff big and grow a lot of it. So I want to start, let's see, since I'm up here I'm going to start with the flowers. And these are my petunias. And growing big. They were like that size last week. And then here's Steven's big pot. He made me buy all the plants in the containers, and then he bought the big pot of flowers already made. I've got some plants over here that I am, it's kind of pitiful right now, but I've got to set those out, or I'm either rooting them. I do have some tomato suckers that, sorry, I do have some tomato suckers that I am rooting. And of course my kitchen herb bed. We got thyme, oregano, needs to be cut again, and then some basil. And this basil the other day, I'm going to do this with you here in just a minute. This basil we topped off, and with basil you have to cut the top of them off as they are producing the smaller leaves at the stem, because it will bush after that. And if you leave it just growing tall, that's all it's going to do. So you have to kind of lop it off, as some people say, and that way it'll make more of a bushy plant. So I want y'all to look at my spinach here. I am letting it bolt. See if y'all can see this. I'm letting it bolt, and so I'm going to be getting all of these little seeds off, and I really don't know if y'all could see those in there. Little bitty specks of green. Those are going to be next year's seed. So I'm doing that, and I've got plenty of other ones, let's see, right there, that I'll be getting my some more seeds from. And then my garlic right there, we are still letting cure, and you can see they are still splitting. They're looking good. I haven't got them hung up yet. Who has time for that? Alright, let's go down the stairs. And the onions that we cut off the other day. Potatoes. And then the comfrey. They're doing good. Growing back a little bit from where we cut some off last week. And I did check it earlier, the one that we cut, that Logan cut off and we put in the window to dry. I checked on that earlier today, and it wasn't quite done yet. It's going to take about 2 weeks, so we still probably got another week or so. And I'm still trying to figure out what to do with it. I do have some ideas that I would like to attempt. And here's Emma's garden. Let me see if I can turn it around for you. Alright, here's Emma's garden. That is lemon mint. This is bee balm. Let me get over here out of the sun. That grassy looking stuff is lemongrass. This is spearmint. And over here is rosemary, garden sage, pineapple sage, parsley, and some dill. And then these, we are unsure. We bought them unmarked. They're either going to be bell peppers or jalapeno peppers. I'm not sure yet, but they do have some blooms on them. A little bloom right there. I've seen some over here too. Oh, yep, there's one. It's a little bitty ball right there. And then all of these are chili peppers. I'm sorry, cayenne peppers. And then she's got a basil plant. So that's Emma's garden, looking good, getting big. All right, so we come back over here, and I've got a yellow squash. And let's see if we can see down in here. Got some pretty blooms. Now these are male blooms. And these down here you'll see, oops, sorry. These you'll see the little fruit on there. There's a squash right there. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost dropped you. That little bitty squash right there, that's a female bloom on the end of the fruit. Remember, because the female produces the fruit and the male fertilizes it. Alright, so next we have the next set of onions that we cut off the other day. They are getting some new growth on them here. Those are the ones we didn't cut because they were smaller. They're still growing. And I'm sorry, I apologize that I didn't get a chance to do a video on preserving what we cut off. I do have, well, not me, but I know of a video that if you want to leave a comment that you want me to send you the link to it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put it in the comments or the description down below. I will try to see if I can get that address and put it in there. But it's a condiment recipe. It's a Vietnamese condiment recipe, and it's called chive oil. You can do it with chives or oil, chives or onions, or both. And it's called Mohan. And there's a lady, her name is Rachel. She does that 1870s homestead. She had an exchange student named Dan that come from Vietnam, and she just recently left and went back home. But while she was here, they was able to do a video of her making Mohan. And she went through it step by step, real super easy. And so that's one thing that you can do with it other than just freezing it or putting it in some kind of organic pure oil, not like vegetable oil, canola oil. You'll have to put it in like olive oil or coconut oil, whatever flavorings you like. And you can put it in a jar and just kind of cook with it like that, like I've said before. All right, so on to the maters. They're getting pretty big. I'm not saying much, you know, because it's about outgrown me, and that doesn't take much because I'm not that tall. But I did want to show you all the new tomatoes that have just kind of come out of nowhere. So we've got all of these beautiful blooms on here. Right there. There's some more. And there's some more. Got 2 tomatoes right there. And then we got a big mama jama back there. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more back there. Those are, I mean, that's pretty big. I got a few down here. Right there. Three more there. Some more blooms. It's trying to hide. And a big one right there. And there's some more. They're really starting to bloom. Those are the first fruits, and it doesn't really seem like much right now. But they're getting there. And I've got to watch them too. Some of them, you know, have the little spots in them. I have not done that yet, but have never had that before, sorry. But this is a new bed, new dirt. It's actually gin trash from our local cotton gin. And it may be something in that that's causing it. Otherwise, they seem pretty big and healthy. That one looks like a butt. And that one may be fasciated, like a cat face they call it. But I'm not real sure because that crack doesn't go all the way to the other side. So it may just have a little defect to it. There's 3, 4, and even my little one down here that broke off, and this is the sucker that came off the side, has 1. Pretty shiny ones back there. I can't really see the sun so bright. There's some more up there. So these first ones, they're just kind of scattered around, but I've got a ton of blooms that are fixing to start popping with it. There's some more there. This little maters tucked everywhere. And this is a big old bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more underneath them. Yep, so they are doing well. Almost to the top. The race is on to the top. All right. Now with the basil here, I wanted to do this with you guys real quick. I said earlier that if you just let them grow like this, they're just going to grow straight and be kind of scraggly. But if you chop them down, cut them down to where they start making the leaves, then it will become more like a bush. And I'm going to show you on this plant what I'm talking about. Alright, so you'll see, let's see if I can get down here low enough. You'll see right here, go over here. Hopefully you can see that, it's not too dark. Right here where the main stem is, yeah, right here where the main stem is, you will see that it has produced these 2 limbs right here. It's kind of like suckers, but this is your signal to where you can cut the plant down to. Any of these have, you know, put out these extra limbs. Looks kind of like suckers. You'll have your main leaf and then you'll have another little shoot come out the middle. And those are fine. It's not, they don't act as suckers do on tomato plants. But that is where you want to actually cut the main stalk. And I have done these on some inside and I've already got them dried. So I just wanted to do a few with you guys. So right here where the limb has come out, you can see it right here. I'm just going to cut that main stalk right there. And all of this will come off. Whenever I go inside, I'm going to hang it upside down, just like I did with the binder clips. And if you want to, you can go ahead and take some of these extra ones off, lay them on paper towels, and let them dehydrate that way. So I just wanted to do a few of these real quick. All right, we got those cut. Got my little handy dandy apron on today. All right, and we do have, oops, sorry, I ain't learned how to drive this thing yet. We do have a pepper here. This is a lunchbox orange, And it's got a little bloom in there. So it's doing good. Alright. I believe that is all the tomatoes. The basil I'm going to take in just a little bit and go ahead and clip it up. If I remember, I'll show you the ones that I did earlier once we get done with this. Next we have our lemon boy. This is our lemon boy tomato plant here. It's growing on up. Oh, we actually have a little baby one. Look. We have a little baby. Have a little baby one. So this is our lemon boy hybrid. We won't be able to save the seeds on it, but it'll be fun to grow today, or grow this year. And next to it, we have our two jalapeno plants. They're getting pretty big. I mean, they're way on up there. Got some little baby ones right there. You can see it right there. And we've got one down here. I may go ahead and pick it off in just a little bit, because it doesn't seem to be producing or growing any bigger. It may have just gotten stunted for whatever reason, and I've actually picked two that were, I mean, they were almost as big as my hand. I picked two of those off and took them inside, but that one's just not growing. So I think it may have stalled out, and I don't want it to keep sucking the nutrients out of the plant when it's not growing. So I'll go ahead and take that off, and it can put its energy in all these other little ones. I mean, look at that. Look at that. There's two there. There's a baby one right there. It's so little. There's some right here. And they're everywhere. This other plant over here is actually bigger. It's just all leaned over. And then my cantaloupe. And I am trying to keep these contained. If you've ever grown cantaloupe, you know I'm not going to be able to do it, but I will try. Logan's flowers. His project this year, if you haven't been following me very long, his project this year was to, sun's gonna blind me, to grow flowers, and we decided to do a recycle project with old used tires. So he done his project with tires here, and he's growing flowers in various spots in the garden to help bring in some pollinators. So, all right, well, I think this is it for this side. All right, so we're gonna move right along. I don't show this area very much, but this is one of my flower beds that I use for lettuce. And the other day I came and did a massive destruction of chopping it down. I haven't pulled it all up yet. But I come over here and I cut all the lettuce and stuff down because it's just getting too hot. Starting to get a bitter taste to it, and it's just going to start bolting, or it's just going to go bad to where we can't eat it. It won't have a good flavor or anything. So I come through here and I just whacked it all down, took it inside, put it in a sink of cold water, and put a little bit of lemon juice in it just to kill any bugs or anything that might be where I can't see it. And then I laid them on paper towels and stacked them up, rolled it up in a log, and stuck it in a gallon bag. And then that way we can eat on it for the next several weeks whenever we want a salad or something. And they'll still be fresh and crunchy. And the thing about cutting lettuce, you have to cut it first thing in the morning, because anything after probably 9 or 10 o'clock, it's going to start wilting and it'll get soft. And that way, you know, you won't get your crispy lettuce if you wait too long. So I went out probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock that morning and started cutting it. Excuse me. Cut it all down and got it in a sink of cold water. That way it wouldn't wilt after I cut it before I could get to it and get it stored away. So next we have our cherry tomatoes. And these are the ones that they volunteered from last year. They're sitting on top of a blue barrel inside of a black barrel. And my very first video was about these. And look at all the babies. Won't be long. Aren't they pretty? Pretty, pretty. And these get real bushy. So this was the idea, to get them off the ground, because I didn't know how they grew. So I just stuck them in the garden like regular tomatoes, and they took over about a 4-foot area, and it was a nightmare. Look at all those. Ain't they pretty? These little notches right here, they are actually spots where roots will grow if this was to happen to touch the dirt at some point. Because in nature, wild tomatoes grow along the ground. They grow up, they produce a little bit, they fall over just like these, and then they start rooting. And if you'll look right here, you can see them all right here. Oh, I'm getting focus. All right here. It's only on one side, because this plant knows that it has fallen over to the left. This is the bottom, and so it has its roots ready. If it was to touch the ground, it will root and keep vining. And so that's how nature feeds the wild with tomatoes, and that's how they're meant to grow. But we force them upward so they don't root. Look at them under there. And since they are such a pain to pick on the ground, and they drop all their tomatoes off of it, my daddy always told me, he was like, just go out there and just shake it, and then just pick them all off the ground. But the problem is, somebody has to hold that big plant up so you can pick it up off the ground. So me and Emma wanted to get it up off the ground this year, and this is the idea I had. And then my daddy stole my idea, but you know, whatever. It all comes together eventually. Isn't that pretty? Pretty little shiny, just row of tomatoes, just perfect little row of tomatoes that God made. It's sweet. And those little blooms. And here's the masterpiece of them all. Look how full of blooms it is. That is just ridiculous. And look. Looky there. How sweet. This is the one that about bit the dust. But she is surviving, and she's putting, I mean, look at that. She's putting on more fruit, more blooms up top than the other ones. I mean, look at that. And she's showing out. She knows she's good. Looky there. I'm finding stuff with y'all. Look at that. But I mean, they're just everywhere. That whole limb right there has 4 branches of seeds. And look, what is that? Oh, a slug was on that. Ha! That's funny. You see that shiny? I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, see, it's shiny. I bet a slug went up that. That's funny. All right, there's the cherry tomatoes. All right, guys, here we have our trellis that we did a few weeks ago. And these are exploding. Hope y'all can hear me. So this is the cucumber and spaghetti squash in the back. So let me take you through here. All right, we've got two national pickling cucumbers here. And look. Can you see it? Look at there. It's a cucumber. So with this trellis, we are weaving all these little vines because they just kind of stick out everywhere. Weaving these little vines through here. And the little tendrils on them, they will grab a holt. They'll grab a holt and just pull themselves up. All right. This one is looking a little sick. I'm not 100% sure why. We got fruit. Where's that? There they are. Look, there's one. And there's one back there. And I saw a big one earlier. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Look. Look, there's two. One here and one right here. Look here. There's one. Like I said, this plant is looking a little sad. I don't know if they happen to come by here and spray this field. They might have done that. If so, I'm gonna have some chemical drift. And what that does is, whatever it does to the field, it's going to do to my plant. This one doesn't look too bad. These two right here, other than needing to be watered, because they do get the hottest part of the day up here. Pretty hard on them. But the squash is also doing it. It's kind of drippy. But the other side's not doing it. So I'm wondering if it's not chemical drift and this took the brunt force of it and the other side didn't. I'm gonna figure it out. But why don't you look down in here? See if you guys can see that. Well, let's come over here. Look at there. You guys see that? It's a spaghetti squash. And it's about as big as my hand. The other problem I'm having is I'm still having problem with my bloom rot. Bottom end bloom rot. It could be caused by any combination or any one of three things. It could be, of course, lack of nutrients. My plants are not lacking nutrients. They have the richest soil they could possibly be. It could actually be hurting them, but I doubt it. They've done fine, and I haven't given them anything that would burn them, which is kind of what it looks like. But I actually haven't given them anything in over a week, so they would have already shown signs, and they would be growing out of it by now. The other thing is a lack of calcium. Now the dirt that they're in is the gin rot, or gin trash. And it's very rich, but it could be lacking in calcium. So about a week and a half ago, I gave them lime. Lime takes up to about 3 months to work, so that's still a possibility. The third thing, well, the second thing could be the heat. It could just be that this over here just gets the hottest and the sun is just cooking them. I have thought about attaching like a sheet or something to the trellis to kind of cover this side up in the hottest part of the day, just to give it some shade, or attaching it to, I have this extra swing set here because that was the original idea for the trellis, and I ended up not using it. We went ahead and did the cattle panel instead, and we're going to use that for something else. But I might put a sheet or something on it, that way it can kind of block the sun. Just move it down here. And another thing, that it could be how I water. Of course, I may be the only person in the world that's not going to be able to grow squash this year, and I can't figure out why. Because they say give a gardener a cucumber plant and the whole neighborhood eats. That's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. but just I can't figure it out. And this is the whole part of going through this with you guys, is you're going to see my faults, but we're going to work them out and we're going to learn. You guys may already be getting, you know, cucumber and squash and tomatoes. You may already be getting all that, or your plants may be smaller than mine. It all depends on when we planted them. But I may be going through this and you may not be. So the watering part of it, it may be that I'm watering them at night, and I've always done that. But since I've never grown them in containers, and I've never used hay mulch or straw mulch. I've never done that because I've had my stuff so thick that I didn't really need the mulch, and I kept my beds weeded really well. So I've never really needed it. But, you know, I'm all about trying different things. It may just be too much in one, you know, at one time in 1 year for me to figure out what exactly it is. So what I've done is I have not watered these in a couple of days. The dirt is getting dry, and I think that is why they look so bad right now. But the yellowing is another sign. It's either nutrients or water. So I'm going to try watering them in the morning. See if, you know, in the next week or two, see if we can see a difference in how they're growing, how they're producing. Because they just, you know, everything rots and I'm not able to keep any fruit on them. So I want to, you know, except that one big one. And I do have another one here, and I've got another one over there. So I mean, I do have a couple, and I see them grow, but the problem is keeping them. I can't keep them. So I'm working through several different solutions. I've done giving them lime for calcium. I'm changing up my water, and you know, and I'm trying different things. So I want you to go through this and, you know, with me to see if we can figure out what it is. So maybe if you ever have to go through it, you'll know how to fix it. So, and see, these over here, they don't look that bad. They're not that bad. And I do have some little ones in there. I can't find them at the moment. But, oh, there's one. Can you see that? Right there. Yep, there's one down here. So I don't have many spaghetti squash, but, you know, we're going to get some. And then some of the cucumbers. Hang on just a second. Let me lower y'all down some, so I can hold on to you a little bit better. Let's see what we got under here. Let's go cucumber hunting. Here's one. Can you see that? Right there. There's one. And these are the Boston. No, I'm sorry. These are my slicers. These are my burpless slicers. These will be... this is usually what we make sweet pickles out of. But you can't make dill pickles out of them. They are horrible. They get way too soft. I like soft sweet pickles, but they don't hold up for dill. They just don't. Let's see what else we got down here. I think I see one. Oh my gracious. Look at that, guys. Look at that big mama jama. And then I have another one. I just seen it. Where'd it go? These things hide. They hide so well. Where did it go? That one caught my eye. Oh, here it is. Behind this leaf here. Let's see if y'all can see it. It is. It's wrapped up. There it is. He's all wrapped up. I got some baby ones. There's a little bitty baby one. So my cucumbers seem to be producing real good. Oh, and one other thing, which is what I thought might have happened on here. This one's over my head. I thought it could have been a pollination problem, but look what I see. Do you see him? Right there. It's not a pollination problem that I know of. Because this morning I come out here and I was looking at him, and he was pollinating all of these little yellow flowers. So I'm like, oh yes, I am going to have a crap ton of cucumbers. So these are my Bostons, my Boston pickling. These are my national pickling. And then the two middle ones are my burpless slicers. The last two have the spaghetti squash in them. So I will keep you updated on those. as we kind of go through this and figure out what the heck's going on.
These here are zinnias and petunias.
Right. So what you got? Show us what you got.
They're starting to bloom, and the petunias aren't doing so well. They're down in there.
They're down in there somewhere, huh? They're down in there somewhere.
Yeah. And then over here,
they're starting to bloom.
And then over here, we have 2 flowers that have already bloomed.
Mm-hmm. Got some more in there.
And then
They're
the
coming.
sunflowers over there look like giant.
Stand beside it. Stand beside it. Come here. Show them how tall it is. All right, it's done outgrown you, huh?
It's pretty tall.
Pretty tall.
Now the corn is super tall.
Well, you got to stand beside the corn. Just right here. Just stand in front of it. Look at that. It's done outgrown Logan. Alright, I'll try to video this. We've got the sun in the background, so it may do a little star dancing here. We've got green zucchini, squash, which I can't hardly even get in here anymore because it's done got so big. And I did quit pruning it because, again, with the bottom end bloom rot, not really for sure if that's what it is or not. Danny at Deep South Homestead, he did a video about pruning your squash, and there's no problem with, you know, doing it, but just in case, because I really don't know what it is. I've given them lime. I'm going to start watering them in the mornings. I do fertilize them. I was pruning them, but it just, I don't know. That's just, to me, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's right. So anyways, we stopped just to see if that's what it is. Some people may have better luck, but like I said, this is a new bed. The dirt in the other barrels is new this year, so I'm just kind of muddling through it, working through it, seeing what it is that's causing it. I'm sorry. I don't really have any of them to show you right now, I don't think. Let's get in here and look at them real quick. Alright. Let's see what we can find in here. See where I was cutting them off. And this one has laid down now. This is actually a different branch. This one right here is growing upward. And this is a separate branch that has laid down. And we got one right there. We'll see if we can keep it. That's about the size it gets when it starts rotting. So we've got some fuzzy ones in here. Oh, move, leaf. Some fuzzy ones there. There's another one there. So we do have some in here. On that one at least. Let's see if I can get over here. Oh, without falling. That's why I was keeping these things pruned. So I could get in and out of here. Let's see if we see any. And this one has put out a side shoot too, over here. See, the bottom just doesn't look good. So that's what makes me think it may be a watering thing. I may have to change the time of my watering to morning. Because they're just, you know, at night they're just setting in water all night long, which was my idea at first. So it would have more time to collect the water before it gets too hot. Let me go around this one. Before it gets too hot and it just bakes it away. But of course, me and my daddy was talking, and he said, look at that. Ah, yes. So it might have been a calcium problem, because I put the lime on these as well last week. But it could be a watering problem, and I don't know. It's just a wait and see game. This right here is one of Logan's sunflowers. There's some marigolds up under it. And here's the corn. Logan's corn he wanted to plant this year. It's doing good. And it's starting to put the little fuzzy tops on there. You see those? Starting to put the little fuzzy tops on there. And also, we saw, see if I can find one. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. Might not can. Right here, the stalk is getting real fat, and there's a leaf that breaks off away from the stalk there, and that would be, I was like, yes, right here, look. Right here, where this stalk comes up, and then this leaf right here comes out. Y'all know what that is? It's a baby corn. That one too. Yes, yes, yes. We've got several of them down through there. And this corn will be done sometime towards the middle to end of July. And then that way the corn can come out, like I was saying. Fingers crossed it's going to stay this way. That the corn will come out, and possibly the garlic will go in half of this bed maybe, and the other half we may do for onions. Plans change, you know. I just did the other video, but tentatively that's what's up here. So we shall see. All right, guys, this is my yellow squash. Get you down here to see if you can see it. Yellow squash. And I did go ahead and take them off of the bamboo sticks. I've got one left. That one broke in half and is actually, it's dead. But I do have another one back over there on the corner of that back flower bed. So I'm going to leave that one over there. I'm going to pull this one out, and I actually have another plant that's going in there. It's on the back porch, and I haven't had a chance to plant it yet. But I did go ahead and take the bamboo sticks out. One, because it was getting too heavy, and two, I was running out of stick. I was running out of the bamboo stick height, and I just felt it better because they do lay on the ground and grow, just to go ahead and let them do that. They were already probably 4 or 5 feet tall, getting to be massive plants, and they're not even producing good yet. I mean, these have the same problem. These have the bottom end bloom rot on them that I haven't fixed yet. And you know, because they produce from the bottom of the plant up, so it's like bloom, 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 you know, and then fruits come out, so it kind of staggers and stacks up. Well, mine are already like 2 feet up the stalk, and I've gotten 3 squash off of them. Everything's rotting, and so by the time I actually get a good squash off of it, it's going to be 5 or 6 feet up in the air, and they're going to be too heavy, and I'm scared they're going to fall off or they're going to bust the plant. So I said, you know what, let's just scratch the vertical idea, let them grow, and get what we can off of them, because this is not my year. I've got a new bed. I don't have enough nutrients and everything in them, so we're going to wing it. But I do see down here, let me show you guys real quick. All right, let's go squash hunting. Let's see. Look. Ooh, leaves in the way. There's one. And there's one. This is the one I just laid down. Let's see. What else we got in here? Let's see. We got one there, I believe. Yep. There's one. And this plant has fallen over. There's another one. Y'all, I may be getting the hang of this. Figuring it out. And there's some there. And then this one had an extra arm on it too that actually broke right there. But it's still growing, so I left it. And it's actually taken over where my other one was. Oh look, there's one right there. So this one down here, see if I can get around all this corn. This one, well, that one broke, and it's done. It's done. So there's my yellow squash, and here's the corn. Big, 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 big. Can't hardly even get through here anymore. All right, next we have the okra. Okra. So we actually have 4 on each row. We have six rows of 4. This one back here, very, very small. This one looks like I'm losing. This one right here, I might have already lost. It looks pretty dead. This one right here died, and then this one right here also died. So right now, as of right now, I've lost 3 out of 27. Not bad. No, 24. I had 27. 3 died. Then I planted 24. 3 died. So now I'm down to 21. 21 plants, guys, let me tell you, in the South will give you way more than enough. Way more than enough. I'll be giving this stuff to friends and family. So, hey, you know what? If I come knocking on your door and give you a bag of okra, you better take it. Because I sure as heck ain't going to need it. Yep. And here's Logan's flowers from the inside. Isn't it pretty? There's some marigolds. There's my mold plant. Yep. Alright, let's move along. Hey, you know what I see? What are those? Let's go check it out. Where you going? He left. All right. Oh boy. Do you see what I see? Looky there. Oh my goodness. Look. It's blackberry time. Blackberry time. This one over here was the first one I saw yesterday. And I said, oh, I gotta save it. I can't pick it. But look at them, guys. They're everywhere. Like I said, I did prune these down a little much last year. I learned better this year to leave them a little longer. So, next year I'll have some more longer big leaves. But we have a few to pick. We may have a handful for eating for breakfast in the morning. Look at Logan's sunflowers. They are getting tall. Tall. I think it's actually starting to make a head. You see that? Right in there. Let's see. Right there. It's making a head. I believe this one is too. Yep. Yep, we got some sunflower heads coming. Oh boy. And then of course, right here we got chives that I want to make some of that mohan with. My daddy's got plenty, so I might have to get some more for him. My blackberry tunnel. Alright. And with these, I did go ahead and cut these down to 1 stalk yesterday. This is next year's plant. Got down to the bottom. There was actually 2 that was coming up for next year, so I cut one of them off, kept the other one, and then I topped it, where I just cut the top off. I don't know if y'all can see this. I topped it right there, so that way it won't keep growing. But all of these will be my limbs next year, and that was my problem with doing this last year. Daddy told me to trim it down to 1 stalk. I had 1 stalk. I had no leaves. He didn't tell me to leave leaves. So that's why I don't have many limbs and stuff this year. You know, because again, Daddy always done it, you know, and so I'm learning from him, and that's why I want to make these videos too, is to get his knowledge while he's still here, you know, because you never know when God's going to take somebody. So I want to get as much of this documented as I can and go through as much of it, you know, with him as I can to share with you guys and to save for myself, and then to pass along to my children and even my nieces and nephew. You know, they may want to do this one year, and they'll have my knowledge and my daddy's knowledge together in videos where they can go back and watch and say, wonder what they said about this problem, wonder what they said about this vegetable or whatever. So this right here is my plant for next year, and I do have it tied up in here, and it's being supported by this ground rod stake, and I can't bend this all the way up to get it to attach up there, so it is what it is for now, until I can get the old one for this year out. So that'll be next year, and it's already growing the little limbs and stuff to produce for next year. So that's exciting, learning something new every day. So let's get out of here. You know what, that may be it. Let's go check. One more thing, strawberries, still here. All these right here are strawberries, and I promise y'all, I took out half of these strawberry plants. I probably took out at least half of them. They have put on runners. They have filled in everywhere I've taken them out. I have got to get strawberry beds made so I can get these things out of here. I've got something that goes here, and I've also got something that goes here. The item and plant that's going to go with my okra is not actually going to go in until August because it's too hot for them now. They are a hot weather plant, just not July and August hot. So they're going to go in the ground in August. That way they'll come up and produce in September and October. Just because they are heat tolerant, just not baking sun heat tolerant. So we'll do that about end of July, 1st of August. We'll do that, and that'll be about the same time the corn's coming out. We're putting the garlic in, so everything is rocking and rolling right now, and it's hard to keep up with some things. It just is like making strawberry beds. I just can't get it done. So anyways, I want to give you a little update on the strawberries, and notice they're still there. They have not vacated my garden yet into their new facilities. I do have somewhere, I haven't seen them in a while, I do have a frog and I have a lizard out here, and they have just been making themselves at home. There's my corn. I'm so happy with this corn. I mean, it has floored me. I've never grown corn. Oh, and let me show y'all. I'll make you drunk for a second going round and round. Okay, you guys know we tied it up right here. Hang on, let me turn it around. So you see here that we tied it up, and we went down one string, in and out, in and out, in and out, and then turned around. We actually started on the other end, come down here, went around this end, and then went the opposite way. So that way, whichever way the wind blows, you know, they're not going to come out, because this is very loose dirt. They are very ground heavy. They're lightly planted, but they have a massive root system. They're easy to blow over and all that, and I've told you all this before. But we had initially tied them up down here. We scooted them up to here, and now it's on the bottom third. So we're actually going to come back through here, put another row. Let me scoot back a little bit, kind of close. We've got so we started the row down here, scooted it up to here. So we're going to leave that one now, and we're going to do another one up here, because the wind is making them so top heavy that I'm scared that they're just going to flip and still be in the strings, and the bottoms come out and the tops flip over, you know, and just come out here and they're all strangling to death because they don't blow over and got stuck in the string or something. I don't know. But that's one of the projects we have to do out here, because some of it's actually, that one down here has done slid back down to here, so we've got to get that up. But anyways, I am going to get to watering the okra, because the okra does need some water. Figure out a way to get out of here. All right, guys, I do believe that is all that I have for tonight. You've seen everything, except I do have carrots in a barrel. It's going to be another couple of weeks before I can get those pulled up, but those will be the last ones that I have. We've seen the tomatoes, we've seen the herb beds. Got a couple things in pots that I've got to get transplanted. seeing the big garden, seeing the trellis. I think that's going to be about it for tonight. And hopefully, if you want to, you can go back to week 1, see how things have changed. I do know my tomatoes have gotten bigger, my peppers have gotten bigger. The corn is out of this world, outrageously grown crazy. And so we've planted the okra, we've got it growing. Of course, the cucumbers and the squash and stuff, they're going up the trellis, and so many things are changing every single week. And especially whenever we get rain, it just explodes, absolutely explodes. I love it when God waters the earth and it gives him all the nutrients that it needs from the rain, because the tap water that we use, because you know I'm not all well, but the tap water that we use it comes out of a water treatment plant, so it's treated with chemicals. It's, you know, treated to kill the bacteria and kill, you know, stuff that our plants actually need. It's got the chlorine in it. It's, you know, got fluoride in it. It's got all this stuff that plants do not need. You know, if it needed it, God would have put it in the rain, but it doesn't need it. Our bodies actually don't need it either. But it's a massive consumer product, basically. So it's guidelines that, you know, where they have to do stuff like that. It's treated, you know, to be able to provide it to so many people and keep it clean for so long. But our plants don't need it. Our plants, you know, they can't use that kind of stuff. Don't you like my apron? Got my little pockets. But anyway, sorry, squirrel. Anyway, so I'm ready for God to water the earth again. We got a little shower this morning, but I mean, it wasn't enough, like my daddy says. It wasn't enough to piss on, so whatever. I can't tell that it actually did anything. It's still so dry, like the dirt in my okra. I watered it last night and it's powdery today because I don't have any mulch on it. That's one of the big things I'm fighting right now, is keeping it wet enough to be able to mulch it. You know what? I'm thinking, my gears are turning. I think I'm gonna go ahead and mulch it, and then when I plant my August crop in there underneath the okra, I can pull it back and plant my seeds. It's a good idea, Casey. Good idea. I'm gonna go ahead and mulch it. We'll water it real good, mulch it real good. Yep, I'm gonna fix that problem, because I was gonna plant the seeds that I have in like this week, next week, something like that. I was gonna go ahead and plant them. Daddy said to go ahead and wait. And of course I listen to my daddy. But he said go ahead and wait till August, because he's actually got the same thing planted, and his will come in. We'll be able to preserve from his. My cousin actually has some that we do the family cropping with. He should have some, and that's where I've been getting them the last 2 or 3 years. Been getting this vegetable. I've been getting them there, and it's enough actually to can for a whole year. I've never had to grow any. My daddy's never had to grow any. We've been blessed, you know, to have somebody with the area to be able to do that for all 3 or 4 of our families, and you know, have enough to have a year's worth stored up. And I think I've got maybe 2 quarts left, so it's time to start harvesting and getting some. And I did see his plants earlier today whenever we went and did the sweet potatoes. Check that video out. That's pretty cool. Not very long. It's about 3 minutes long. And it's just a rundown on, you know, hey, we've got sweet potatoes. You know, this is when we planted them. This is what we're doing, you know, a follow-up kind of thing. And so anyways, I'm not going to be able to plant, I'm not going to plant mine until August. So that way we have a early or late summer, early fall crop to get in. And so we're not bombarded. It's called succession planting. And that way you don't have every single thing to come in all at one time. Just like my daddy's cucumbers are coming in, mine are a little bit later because he started his from seed earlier than I did. So he'll have them coming in first, and then I'll have them coming in a little bit later. And then with like the tomatoes, ours should come in about the same, but mine, he said his was almost ready to turn red. And of course his has a little more sunlight than mine does. So I've slowed mine down actually a little bit by planting them where I put them in the back flower bed. I've actually slowed them down just a little bit by putting them there. but that's okay, because his tomatoes will come in, Mama will get hers, I will get some, and then mine will come in, so I'll get mine, and then, you know, if she needs any more, if my sister needs any, you know, whatever, we can just swap tomatoes around and get them all done, and make salsa and rotel and just all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so I think this is long enough. I hope you enjoyed my garden tour. Come back next week. I may try to do one over the weekend. I'm not sure what our plans are just yet. I may do one over the weekend, or it may again be Monday or Tuesday next week when I get to it. I was going to try to do them on Friday or Saturday, but just not in my cards right now. So I get to it when God allows me to get to it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all have a fun and safe and productive week, and may God bless you, and we will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like my video, comment any questions or comments you have. If you see anything that I need to change, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you liked it, just say, hey, I loved it, thank you for sharing, you know, whatever. Just a little something to let me know that you're there. And also subscribe, hit the bell to get my notifications whenever I do post something new, or possibly go live. I may start going live before long, especially whenever I'm harvesting or maybe doing some canning or something like that. I may actually go live. Like the videos, share them on Facebook. Let your friends know that I have a video out there. If you have anybody interested, if you say, hey, I know this girl that's got this video on it, you know, share it with them, share it publicly. I don't care. Get my word out there, that I've got the new channel, and I want to be able to teach people that want to learn these, you know, these things. And I want to show them what I go through, what, you know, plants go through, what they may go through. You know, I'm here for them, and I want them to be there for me too. So if you will, go ahead and like, subscribe. When you do subscribe, you will have to go into log in, because I've had some comments like, I don't know what to do. So subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the word, and it should be right down below. And whenever you subscribe, if you're not already logged into your app or logged in on your computer or something, then it will ask you to sign in. If you don't have an account, create you an account. That's all you got to do. It ain't nothing to it. And it ain't going to bother you. Ain't nobody going to get your name or nothing like that. But as long as you have a login, you'll be able to get the notifications. You'll be able to subscribe to channels and stuff like that. So click the word subscribe, and then sign in if you haven't already, and like and share my videos. I'm up to 30-something subscribers now, and that's great. I am so ecstatic. I do want more people, you know, to watch my videos, because I love teaching. I love sharing. And I know there's tons of people out there that have asked me, you know, multiple times, you know, please share, please do something. I want to learn. You know, it's great to watch you. Family members, you know, they want to see what I'm doing. They want to, you know, keep up with me and all that good stuff. So just make sure you get the word out for me and share away. Boots and Bounty Homestead. Until next time, God bless, and we love you. Good night. Bye-bye.